Welcome
still there?
to Ask. Yeah, I'm still here. Welcome to Ask Win, everyone. Today with me, I have Mr. Ryan, and Mr. Ryan is about to have an intense interview. I mean, I'll try and take it easy, but for many years, I would say for about a good 4 years, I was involved with a nonprofit called Valley Life Fall. And one of the facilities we teamed up with was Mountain and Valley Development here in Aspen, Colorado, where I sit. They're in Glenwood, and I'm up here in Aspen. But the last time I had to interact with these guys, I'm going to be honest, it was a complete and utter disaster. So this is why I bring Ryan on to explain more of what Mountain Valley Development does, because I want him to explain it more than me bucking and squawking about how you guys can all help the disabled. And we do have day programs. No, I'm not involved in one of those day programs, but there is day programs for people with disabilities. So I'm going to let Mr. Ryan explain more about what Mountain Valley Development is.
Nice to meet everybody. Thanks for taking the time to have me on your podcast. Once again, my name is Ryan Jefferson, and I am the day program manager of Mountain Valley Developmental Services. I just started my job about 9 months ago, so I'm still kind of a newbie on the block. My personal goal as a day program manager is to offer opportunities and to enrich and advocate for the lives of all adults with developmental disabilities and anyone that I serve, as well as provide more opportunities for community involvement and development. That's kind of my personal goal. And Mountain Valley Developmental Services' actual goal is fairly similar, enriching the lives of all adults with developmental disabilities and community involvement.
So, okay, you might need to back up, because a lot of my fan base is disabled, but a lot of my fan base is not. Now, I know what a mental disability is, but Ryan, how would you classify it, and how would someone apply for a spot in Mountain Valley Development?
Developmental disabilities, I believe, are actually classified based on a rating scale. Essentially what happens is at a certain age, the brain stops developing, and that usually is like a younger age for most of the folks that I work with and or serve. But we also serve a range of other emotional disabilities, I guess you could call them, and or physical disabilities as well. So we serve all types of disabilities at Mountain Valley Developmental Services.
Okay, I was getting to that point. So you do serve people with cerebral palsy. And
yes.
As you guys know, cerebral palsy goes case by case. I have moderate cerebral palsy, but I know people with severe cerebral palsy, and also mental disabilities go case by case too. Some are mild, some are severe, some are moderate. So it all depends. So give us a day in the life of what your job title is, because I don't actually know what you do at Mountain and Valley Development. I mean, I heard about you guys many years ago now, and the first time I interacted with you guys, I was helping Valley Life Fall with something, and you brought your team up and it was not a good experience for me and not a good experience for the other person there with me. And so I want to know from you guys what you do on a daily basis.
Well, lots of things change over time, and once again, I've been here for about 9 months, and for me, this is what a day in my life looks like. I leave my house around 7 a.m. in the morning, and a lot of times I will basically be providing direct service as well as being a manager. So I might possibly drive to a residential home, pick up a group of individuals, anywhere from 5 to 8 on one vehicle in a bus. So I drive the bus, and then I bring it into the day program, and we serve on average 20 to 25 individuals every day, 5 days a week. They come to the day program hours from about 9 to 3 p.m. During that time, we either provide on-site structured activities or structured activities within the community, once again, such as swimming. We have an arts and crafts class. We have a clay class where people have been going to make clay mugs and clay bowls and paint them and then bring them home. These are all contractual classes, so these are things that we pay for through Mountain Valley and then provide to our adults with developmental disabilities. And then everybody leaves at about 3 p.m. on the same transport vehicle, and we take them home, and then they stay at the residential home over the evening. It's kind of what my day looks like. In the middle of all that, I'll be working on the floor. I'll be serving the individuals, and then 5 to 10 minutes of brief spare time I get, I go to the computer to read email. And then try to keep up with everything else in the middle.
As I said, dealing with, I did teach preschool for 11 years, and the able-bodied preschoolers wore me out. So I can't imagine Mountain Valley Development dealing with the mentally disabled. I'm sorry to throw you guys under the bus, but I can't imagine because I'm physically disabled. You're able-bodied. I can't imagine. My hat's off to you, Ryan. But I can't imagine dealing with the mentally disabled on all different levels. We
also provide behavioral support needs as well.
So, okay.
Behavioral support and like any kind of severe behaviors.
You do provide behavioral support. I was just about to say that. Do you provide behavioral support? So, okay, where is this residential home as compared to Mountain Valley Development? Because I know you guys are in Glenwood, but I don't know where the residential home is. I haven't seen a residential home. It may not be that obvious, but I'm sure it is. So where are you located as compared to this residential home?
That's a great question. So we actually have multiple residential homes. Certainly addresses and names need to be kept private in order to keep their securities and their rights private. But we have homes, once again, in Glenwood Springs. We actually have 2 homes in Glenwood Springs. We have 1 home in Carbondale, 1 in Mesa View, 1 in, actually, we even spread out as far as Minturn, and I believe we have a day program and or a residential, I don't know if it's a residential home or not, but I know we have a day program in Eagle. So it actually stretches pretty far. There's quite a distance sometimes in between the residential homes and the day program. So, for example, I drive from Newcastle to Carbondale, then from Carbondale to Glenwood and back, and then back home if I'm doing transport as a Carbondale home. So we do serve quite a large range.
Oh my God! But where is the main base?
Glenwood.
Well,
Yeah, the day program is the only one is in Glenwood. We actually do have that's like your main base. Yeah, there are some other day programs.
Okay.
There's one in Silt and there's one in Eagle, I believe. But those are the only other two.
Going all over the planet to serve the people with disabilities. So, okay, so your main population is what? You would say more mental disabilities than physical, or about a 50-50 split, or how does that work?
I would honestly say it's closer to a 50-50 split, believe it or not. A lot of times, along with the developmental disabilities, come an array of physical disabilities. Once again, we serve individuals that are in wheelchairs, use walkers, oxygen tanks daily. They have to have these things. I also provide physical therapy to some individuals. I've received physical therapy training. It's important to keep people active and in motion. We provide that. So we provide some of that as well, or at least I attempt to. Oh, man.
I love it. But I was just curious because I thought, and I'm sorry to be the complete dummy here, but I thought Mountain Valley Development, what I was told, and granted, this was many, many years ago, so now I'm re-educating myself on Mountain Valley Development and sharing it with you guys, my podcast listeners. And what I was told was Mountain Valley Development deals more primarily with mental disabilities, not less physical disabilities. They told me when they actually told me, we hate you because you're so high functioning with cerebral palsy that there's nothing we could offer you. So here I am thinking, Mountain Valley Development doesn't deal with cerebral palsy. I'm thinking, why am I investing myself in that? Well, it turns out they do. So there's a re-education for me.
Well, let me tell you, I can't speak for anyone else, clearly. I moved here from West Virginia originally. Once again, my purpose in this job is also just to serve people in general. I find it's fulfilling to me to serve others, and or not even just serving others, but empowering and enriching others to live their dream. I think it's really important that we spend time helping others achieve their goals. So part of it is my personal goal, and then the other thing is, I'm not sure at what point you spoke to anyone else or what happened in the past, but I can speak to always trying to be on a positive note and trying to change for the better. And I would say that, I have a lot of things to offer other than just services for adults with mental disabilities. I try to offer any and all tools to anyone that wants to come in and develop in some way, shape, or form, physically, mentally, behaviorally, whatever that form happens to be. That's sort of kind of how I run my day program. I think it's important to advocate and clearly help others figure out what their dreams and goals are and how to achieve those. So I would say not only do I offer mental, behavioral, and physical support, I offer socialization. I offer positive energy and respect for everyone in the day program. Or try. Once again, I always offer. I try. It's encouragement.
We try to deal with the mentally and physically disabled the best we can. We try, and I say we try because some days it's harder than others. Trust me, with CP it's hard, some days gold, other days are mud with BP, and it all depends on what day it is, and that's why I say we try. We try to give equal opportunity in employment. We try to support people with physical and mental disabilities. I am a huge advocate, as you guys know, as you know by now, if you haven't figured that one out. So, when you say I, do you have a team behind you? Do you have a team behind you, or you just being the miracle Superman of this day program?
Well, let me tell you, when I first started, I lost 3 staff members when I started, the very first day. So it was not an easy road, but I have finally built a team. And my team is they are going above and beyond my expectations right now. For example, my team, I have 6 staff members currently. My team stayed until 7 p.m. last night for my staff meeting. After 4 o'clock, which is the normal clock out time, they independently stay and work with me in order to have a successful and productive staff meeting about some very serious issues that sometimes come up and how do we handle that. And so I'm very grateful for the fact that I have a team right now, because when I first started I did not. And it was that was kind of one of the biggest things. It was trying to build a team and trying to really show and train that team how I wanted my day program to really benefit other people. There's another point that you made, and I really wanted to kind of focus on that for a second. We offer person-centered services. We try very hard I'm currently developing goal plans that try to address people as a person and try to encourage and support in the best ways possible, but still also advocating for their choices. So, in the end, I think it's definitely person-centered services, person-centered enrichment on a daily basis. And that could mean anything based on the person. You were making that point earlier, and I think that was a great point. So I just wanted to retouch on that and let you know that for me, that's very important. It's important to recognize each person as a separate individual and as their own person, and how do we best support that person in the day program. So I work on that all the time.
Thank you for saying that, because I kind of feel like me being a disabled individual, and I will say this bluntly on the podcast, I get lumped in with the 1,000 other kids with cerebral palsy, and yet they don't respect my wishes and my needs. And I can tell you what one program did, and I still love this program dearly, Challenge Aspen, but during play camp, during play production, they seem to lump me in with every other disabled person on the planet, and they, despite my speaking abilities, they gave me a role that didn't fit my needs at all, so I gave up acting with them. I gave up the acting camp with them. Now, granted, I still snowboard with them, but I feel like we should not lump all these disabilities together. And I feel like
I agree.
I feel like the disabled population is getting lumped together, and to throw fish out to the mental disabled population, they have it harder than I do because they're mentally disabled, so they get thrown underneath the mental bus all the time. And I'm trying to be an advocate for every single mentally disabled person under the sun / physically disabled, to show them that no, you don't have to be lumped into it. Now, the goals you're trying to plan, are they similar to IEP or for one? IEP stands for Individualized Education Plan that you guys say
I'm familiar with that.
Public schools. So are these plans you're trying to develop for the individuals at your day program?
Yes.
Are they similar to IEP?
They are very similar. Essentially, I'm also trying to update and, once again, make things very person-centered per person, and it is a work in progress. I'll tell you what, some of the barriers, this is kind of sort of the bigger question and some of the bigger issues involved. For example, one thing, once again, for me was staffing. I mean, it is impossible to do all of that and be one person. So, I had to build a staff. I had to sort of kind of start from the ground up and build all that and continuing to do so, and it's working well, but that's one of the barriers. If there are not enough staff members to serve each individual with person-centered services, I think that's something that this type of our industry, working in the service industry for people in general, struggles with. The lack of ability to provide good services and person-centered services because a lack of staff, essentially. And so that's one barrier that I think that is kind of across the board in this type of field. Now, before I got this job, I worked as a direct service provider and then moved to being a job coach for a place called Friends of Broomfield, and that was in Broomfield, Colorado. And so that's where I first kind of developed my passion for this type of work and sort of kind of moved up the ladder here, and now I'm a manager of a day program, but that has its own barriers, and one of those has definitely been staffing and the ability to have the staffing available for really providing the support that's needed, because let's be honest, we all need sometimes some pretty serious levels of support. And so in order to do that, I have to have the people. And, I'm finally have been blessed and very grateful right now because I do have a good team behind me and, wouldn't be able to do it without them. So I am grateful for that.
And,
one of the barriers.
One of the barriers, keeping good staff, because they will have a bad day too, and you can't let your staff have a bad day when you're trying to deal with 2 million things in one day with the mentally and physically disabled. And so that's one of the barriers which I completely understand. And so my next question is, the outsider looking in, for the exception of me, how can a community help you guys? Because I know you team up with those we have. I know you do, because that's the way we do it. I am also involved with both we have. Vocational rehab is the state services for Colorado, by the way. And they've been wonderful to me, and I know you guys team up for job coaching and job placement, but how can an individual listening to this podcast help a day program in Colorado or in their own state? I mean, I've had podcast listeners from all across the state / internationally. So how can individuals help these day programs from your perspective, Ryan?
That's a great question. I think in the end, it's not so much about helping each other, more empowering other individuals to embrace their dreams and or advocate for themselves more. I think, to me, the reason I went on this podcast and would continue to do something like this is because I'm really trying to provide equal opportunities for all individuals, regardless of disabilities or whatever you want to call it, and want to really be able to help people realize their potentials, no matter what. And so my suggestion is to spread the word, to say, hey, Mount Valley Developmental Services is out here trying to enrich the lives of adults with developmental and physical disabilities, and how can we enrich the lives, or how can anybody help to enrich their own lives for the same folks? And you running a podcast helps spread that word right there. It's already publicity and or kind of advertisement and advancement. It's developing knowledge. Knowledge is how you can help each other.
It's developing knowledge about the disabled population, and that's what I'm trying to do, you guys. And you can hear me talk and talk about it several times, and you guys haven't gotten sick of me yet, talking and talking of it. But this is the first time in about 4 years since doing this podcast, I have brought someone on finally that is a director of a day program that does help people with disabilities, and I brought Ryan on so I could educate myself about Mountain Valley Development. And so where could people find you, and if they have a child with a physical disability or mental disability, how can they apply to Mountain Valley Development, or how can they apply to all their own state programs? I know it's different state by state, and I know you definitely need medical documentation of the adult mental disability or the child's disability, but how could they apply to Mountain Valley Development?
That's a great question. So a lot of people we receive service, or we provide services for, we receive orders through the state basically that give us that. We have a website, okay? It's I'm pretty sure it's mountainvalleydevelopmentalservices.com. And you can go online and you can look at the services that we provide. For the most part, we work with adults with developmental disabilities, but I believe there is a department that works with some children and or young teenagers and kind of moving into the adult world of, the people we serve. So I'm not so sure about the children part. My day program deals with mostly adults with developmental disabilities.
Yeah.
But you can go to the website and it'll tell you what all the services are that we provide and phone numbers on who to contact if you're interested in receiving services through Mountain Valley.
So it's a state-run thing. It's a state-run thing. And you guys, I've been lucky over the years. I had no wonder why. When I first encountered Mountain Valley Development, I had a little bit of a tip with them. But because I've been lucky over the years to receive my services, my OT, my PT, my speech, privately, it wasn't until I was 30 years old did I get involved with vocational rehab. And that was only because I was looking for a tutor to help me with my homework. Turns out they offer more than just tutor support, which they landed up finding for me. But I I had never been involved in a state system until I was 30 years old. And for me, seeing how the state system works is eye-opening. Because I was used to, and granted, I have the financial means to receive OT, PT, and speech privately, and I still receive PT privately, because that's not through a state entity. The exoskeleton is not through a state entity. They are actually on profit. So I receive PT privately through this non-profit. But me working with the state vocational rehab, it has been shocking to me what you guys put in to support all of us individuals with physical and mental disabilities. And I'm just doing half of it. I can't imagine why one would want to go into this industry, but I applaud Ryan for going into this industry. Sometimes you gotta get the saints in this industry, and Ryan is one of those saints, and I hope he doesn't leave Mountain Valley Development anytime soon. And Ryan, do you have any questions for me that I can answer about anything?
I like to ask flavor questions sometimes. We've been pretty serious. I want to know what you like to do for fun, or what is your special interest or hobby?
This is a new one, but my special interest is rock climbing, believe it or not.
Nice. That's awesome. I love that.
I do able-bodied rock climbing. There's no disabled rock climbing for me, and so that is a new form of PT that has now become my passion, because you need a passion in life other than go and work and podcasting. So even though I use it as a form of PT/OT, believe it or not, OT, as I said, occupational therapy, because I have to untie my knots. I mean, my rock climbing instructor really said to me the other day, this was on Tuesday, he goes, "You untie that knot." I'm not untying the knot. He, of course, taught me how to untie the knot. But he goes, "You untie that knot." I teach people how to get themselves out of the harness. I don't only teach people about rock climbing the wall in general, but I teach people the fundamentals of rock climbing. And I'm like, okay. So I sat there and untied a knot, and I'm laughing because here I thought at 30 years old I would never be untying the knot from a rock climbing harness. And I'm like, okay. And he just walked over and he literally started talking to my dad. And he goes, "You do it." So advocacy, independence, that's what we're trying to teach all these kids. And I believe that rock climbing is one of the best sports out there for cerebral palsy, because it decreases our tone. It makes me concentrate. And so, that is one of my new passions. It's also a new PT for me.
I love that. So in my spare time, I like to hike in the mountains. I've been to the Continental Divide, the backpack and snowshoes, and I like to play guitar. And I've been playing open mic recently, so that's my free time fun. Nice to meet you, Win.
Free time fun when you have it. Nice to meet you. And you guys, I will put all of Ryan's information in the show notes, and please, if you can, Go support your mountain valleys of your state. Go support Oz and Glenwood. And if you see these kids walking around, just say hi to them. It makes people's day when you say hi to them. And please, 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 this is my public announcement, and Ryan will probably agree with me. Do not stare at kids with physical disabilities or mental disabilities. It drives me nuts. I had that experience yesterday. I was in the middle of my gym, and now granted, I knew these kids. They didn't realize it was me, I don't think. And granted, they still stared at me. And I knew them. And so I'm standing in an actual robot, and they stare at me. So please don't stare at the disabled. It drives me nuts. And Ryan will probably come and knock you over the head with a saucepan if you're not careful, because
I'll use my guitar.
We're trying to include these young adults with disabilities in the community, and caring just doesn't help. So please, when you see a person with a physical disability, ask them how they are. Make them speak if they can. Don't speak to the aid. And please don't stare at these people. It drives me nuts. It probably will drive Ryan nuts too. And that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to be advocates, and don't want to put more pressure on ourselves than we already have. I mean, it's tough enough having a disability. So if you can help us out, that would be greatly appreciated by me and by all the directors across the 60 states of all these day programs, because they're doing a damn good job of keeping these day programs up and running. And I know my Mountain Valley development just went through a huge change in staff, as Ryan said, but now we're back on track. So help us help these kids. Thank you very much. That's my PSA.
Thank you. We are actually having a booth in the Strawberry Days Festival. Everybody come by and see us. Mountain Valley Developmental Services. I'll probably be playing guitar out there, and you can come listen.
Oh, yes, you will. Yes, you will. And Strawberry Days is when, Ryan? Strawberry Days is when?
I believe it's June. Oh God, it's June. I think it's June the 15th. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't quote me on that. I should double check the date.
Well, June the 15th. And if I find a newspaper article about it, I will stick it on the website. If I find a newspaper article about Strawberry Days, you guys, I will stick it on the Ashwin website, because the more we can help kids with mental disabilities and physical disabilities, the adults, the better off we'll be, because quite frankly, these kids grow into adults. I mean, I'm 30, almost 31, and I'm still battling a kid's disability. My God. And so, I just want you guys to help as much as you can, and I hope you enjoyed a wonderful episode with Ryan, speaking about what we're doing in our valley for kids with all physical and mental disabilities. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, Wynn.